Alright, this is a review for Batman Odyssey. Neil Adams is back on Batman. Welcome back, Neil. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. First reading this, I really didn't care for it. First read, I said, I just didn't care for it. But after reading other reviews and, people talking about it, I said, you know what, they're right. This isn't the Batman we know. This is the Batman that used to be. Batman or Bruce Wayne in here. This takes place during. I don't think this is in continuity, but it takes place when Batman was kind of first starting out. When he was using guns and stuff like that. This is a very Neil Adams writes Bruce Wayne very human-like. Whereas we don't really see that a lot in Batman today. We get to see more of the Bruce Wayne side, and I like that. He's very young. He's around the age of, I want to say, he seems to be probably early 20s, late teens. And he just sounds, he's very human. He gets shot in here, as you can see on the cover. And we get to see that this man can actually get hurt. When nowadays when they write Batman, if somebody shoots at him, he'll probably either dodge the bullet or he'll take the gun away from the opponent before they can pull the trigger. And which is cool and all, but here we get to see him when he first started out and he was struggling. He was, haphazard. He was kind of childlike. He didn't know what he was doing. He was just starting out, There's this one part when he's climbing up to a train and he takes the gun out. He's like, well, now I shouldn't have took the gun out because now I have to climb to the top of the train with one hand. And I'm like, oh, okay, this guy seems very human-like. He has very human characteristics, which I like. He's not nearly as robotic or as over the top as they write him now. As this angry, old type of person, but now he's very kind of open-minded and just trying to figure out what works for him and what doesn't work for him. I like the artwork in here. The artwork is very good in here. Reminds me of kind of Frank Miller's artwork a little bit. Something about it just screams Frank Miller's artwork. But yeah. Classic artwork, none of the digital coloring and stuff like that, which is another point they brought up in other reviews, and I said, you know what, after reading it the second time, they're right. I think you get a little bit more pages in here than you do in a regular comic. You get to see Dick Grayson. I like the way he writes the characters in here too. They're all they read very human like. They're not very over the top or anything like that. They just read like regular people. And he's kind of writing them like as I want to say 80s Batman. He reminds me of Batman from Batman Brave and the Bold, but with a little bit more of a darker tone. That's what he really reminds me of in this book. So if you're a fan of the old school Batman, the earlier stuff, definitely pick this up. This is a must pick up. It is definitely worth the money. It is going to be 12 issues. I thought it was going to be 6. Yeah, but it says 1 of 12 issues, so I'm looking forward to this. This looks like it's going to be a good fun read for Batman. So definitely check this out. Pick it up if you see it at the comic store. It's very worth checking out, and that's really all I can say. I'm not going to give away the plot and anything like that too much. Just the fact that, we get to see a more human side of Bruce Wayne. I like that. And it's very rarely done in comics, in the regular continuity comics. And I like to see more of that. So that's all I'm going to say with this. And check this book out. Very good. 5 out of 5. Neil Adams, showing that he can still write Batman, bringing it hard. And with that, I'm going to leave it out.